Hello and welcome. The purpose of this video is to explain the cultural experience assignment for EDUC 381. This assignment is all about exploring and reflecting your own awareness and attitudes, as well as your actions and sensitivities to cultural diversity. So what are you going to be doing in this cultural experience assignment, you may ask? Well, you are going to research your area or an area that you're going to visit between now and the end of our course, which is going to come quicker than you think. And you're going to look for something that's out of the ordinary for you. For example, a place that you might not normally visit that would expand your horizons or, in general, expose you to something that you don't typically experience. So, for example, when I was 18, I had the chance to go to France and Spain with my Spanish class. So it was right after I graduated high school. And of course, I'd been to Canada, living so close. And so this was my first big trip outside, I would say, the country, but really the continent. And so during this, I'm very Midwestern, I grew up on a farm, like very rural person, right? And so I thought, well, the craziest thing that's going to be is for me to just be in these big cities. Like, sure, I've been to American cities, but it's going to be so different, so much history. And although those things were definitely highlights of that trip, I was shocked by many other things, more so probably than that. People don't smile in Europe, and maybe that's because I'm American or who knows, but they don't say excuse me. But when you're meeting somebody and introduce yourself, they won't smile at you, but they'll kiss you on both cheeks and like wrap their arms around you. And so like me, personal bubble Midwesterner, is like, oh my gosh, right? And I'm a huggy person, and it was a lot for me. And so before going, I thought that I would just have to get used to being in a bigger city and in a historical part of the world. And really, the cultural differences, even though France and Spain, when you look at how crazily diverse the world is, are not that much different from us, just how much of a culture shock that was for me. Now, although I would love it if you could all travel abroad for this assignment, that is not my expectation. Instead, I want you to choose an experience where you can participate either as an observer or a participant, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And during this experience, if you can take pictures, if not, that's okay, but take notes and observe and just be thoughtful of what you're doing. And again, this should be something that you may have experienced in one way or another, but is going to expand your understanding now that you are thinking critically about diversity and how it relates to us as teachers. And so, what is this process going to look like? So, step one is the preparation before you seek out this experience. So, research things that go on in your area. If you live in an extremely rural area and there's not a ton of options, you might have to get a little bit more creative. But if you live someplace that has a lot of diversity and a lot of events or experiences that you can take part in that are outside of your norm, I encourage you to do that if it's within your means, of course, to participate in that. And just try to find something that you can either be an observer or a participant in. So then once you seek out this experience, whatever it may be, you're going to participate in it. You're going to take those pictures, you're going to take those notes, be observational about what's going on, and try and think about how this relates to you and your understanding of diversity, and be thinking about what does this help you do in the future in the classroom. So once you participated in the event, what you're going to do here in step 3 is you're going to create a presentation, whether that's a PowerPoint, a Canva slide, a Prezi, whatever, medium of presentation you prefer. You're going to create that and tell us the story of the experience through pictures and words. If you want to, you can add narration. You are not required to, but as long as we can understand what your experience was and it's described thoroughly for us. So in your presentation, I'd like you to include the following things. So tell us, where was this experience, right? Was this in your hometown? Did you travel to go? Was this in your own home, right? Like, did you create an event in your home with some friends in order to expose yourself to something new? What was the purpose, right? Was this a holiday? Was this a culinary experience? Was this a festival, whatever that may be. What is the experience if I had no idea what you did? And then what was the purpose of it, and why did you choose that, right? Why would you choose this experience versus others? And honestly, it may be it was close and it was cheap. Like, you're going to be saying that a lot as a teacher. Trust me, that's fine. But as long as there's some thought and purpose behind why you chose that over another experience, and that there's some validity behind why you did that. Okay, and then what did you take away from that experience, right? What did you gain? What did you learn about yourself and others by being a participant in this? And then did this experience help you to learn something more specific about where you're from, or about the city that you're in, or even your own community and your own experience? And then finally, you're just going to kind of tell us some of those key takeaways, right? After leaving, what are some things that really stuck with you that may or may not influence you down the road as an educator? So then step 4 is going to be sharing out that experience. So in week 6 on Blackboard, you're going to define a discussion board, which is called Cultural Experience Discussion. And that's where you're going to post your completed presentation. So whether that's a link to the actual presentation file or a YouTube video, however you need to get that to us, as long as everyone is able to view that, that is A-okay. And then step 5 is going to be responding to the other experiences. That's a typo there. I'm going to fix that right now. Is responding to other people's experiences with their assignment. And so I need to respond to at least 3 other posts within the discussion board meaningfully to show me that you are engaging with what other people did. See those similarities and differences, right? Maybe some people knew of this but never had the chance to take part, and maybe you had an experience that you've never had before and didn't even know it existed until this assignment. So you're going to be graded a couple different ways. So this rubric's going to look a little different than maybe ones you've encountered before. And so the first part of this rubric is just your attendance, right? So you will get 20 points just for attending it, right? Just for going and trying and experiencing this new thing that you have sought out, you are going to get 20 points. Okay, then the next part is the presentation, and that's broken up into more pieces, right? And so in order to get full points, you're of course going to want to have everything under the distinguished, which is you're just going to describe what the experience was with examples. You're going to tell us what the purpose, you're going to tell us why you chose it, and then you're going to talk about what you learned. And then of course you're going to get a few points for turning it in on or before the due date. And then finally, you are going to get points for your discussion. So you made the post with your presentation included in it. You responded meaningfully to 3 other classmates. Your entries and comments showed that you're being reflective and you're genuinely trying to contribute to this discussion. And then also that you viewed the majority of the presentations, which were turned in on time. Of course, if somebody turns something in a week late, I'm not expecting you to go back. But so basically, I would like you to view 3/4 or more of the classmates' posts, which will be in that discussion board on that due date. So overall, this assignment is worth 45 points. If you have any questions about the rubric or have any questions about what a cultural experience is, I will absolutely problem solve that with you. I know I don't want to put a hard definition on it because I don't want to limit the opportunities that you have to expose yourself to some diversity, and which I know makes it a little bit harder to sometimes plan that. So if you need any help brainstorming or have like, am I thinking about this right? Would this count? Anything like that. Of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. And I look forward to hearing from you and seeing all of the different experiences that you're able to have with this assignment.